This one's about Ruby Franke and the Franke family and everything that we saw on the Netflix documentary about this. She was the like viral mother. Go on, sorry.
Family vlogger.
Yeah. Like
American family vlogger.
American family vlogger, like lifestyle, like motherhood and parenting and stuff, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What was that thing that you saw about that boy?
So apparently the boy that reported, got himself some attention from a neighbour, he was actually asking to be taken to the police station, to turn himself in because he'd been so brainwashed. He believed he needed to be incarcerated. So
that's one of the theories apparently. So that boy, it wasn't a case that he's going to... So this all became unravelled and came to the surface because one of the boys, like the younger boy, he managed to get to a neighbour's house, like escape from the house, got to a neighbour's house and asked that neighbour to call the police. Now, on the surface, you're thinking, that kid is calling the police to report...
For help.
Yeah, for help, to report the situation, get help and get rescued. But apparently a theory is that he wasn't looking for help. Instead, he was so brainwashed that he is bad and he is naughty or whatever, that he was trying to get the police to arrest him so he could be punished. That is deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he wasn't... I just want to say that again. He wasn't looking to be rescued. He was calling the police to turn himself in.
That's what some of the netizens say. Apparently that's what he said.
That's what he said in a subsequent interview or whatever after this has all come to light, isn't it? Apparently, guys, we don't have...
But we haven't really heard that bit or watched any of that, so...
Yeah. We haven't got those facts, if you know what I mean. But
it would make sense because the mother did keep telling them that they were evil and they were so bad and, they needed curing, mending, fixing, whatever.
And it would make sense as well because even other family members were like proper mad, brainwashed still after the whole thing, weren't they? Like even the husband after the whole thing has been like, I would still do whatever she wants. She's still the love of my life. If I had to go back and do it all again, I would do all of it again, just the same way I did it. Because, do you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't say he's brainwashed. He's just dumb and deluded. That's what I think.
That's what you think, or do you think he's playing an act?
He's just dumb and deluded, stupid.
He's a proper extreme case of it, isn't he?
That's what I think he is.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you. I don't know. Like, is this the power of brainwashing? Is this just proper stupidity? Is this just an alibi to get away with this?
Well, she hid a lot of what was happening from him, so she didn't really brainwash him that much because a lot of it, when the abuse was happening, I don't think he was actually there. He wasn't even present. He'd already been kicked out, and like the eldest daughter as well, she was kicked out, wasn't she? As we saw in the documentary.
Okay, right. So. Let's go back. Let's rewind then. Let's look at how all of this started and what happened. Okay. So, this, really, the seed that started all of this, it's a bit crazy to say and a little bit, I don't know, I mean, it's kind of sensitive to say it, but this is what was shown in the Netflix documentary. And that is that this basically came from the church. That is where it all started. Because it was seen as a type of spreading of the religion, right? If you advertise your really healthy lifestyle and you keep repeating that you are part of this church, so they were Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints. So if you keep mentioning that, yeah, you're a Mormon, you're part of Latter-day Saints church, and you have a really attractive lifestyle, and you show that off, that will attract people to the religion.
Yeah.
Right? And so you are doing God's work in doing that, right?
Yeah.
And I can see that. I get it. I get that. I can see how that people would logically go ahead and follow that. The tragedy here is your piety, is your religiousness then gauged, counted in terms of views? and subscribers. Do you know what I mean? That's a really weird take and a really weird slant, but that's what was happening. So as things grew, as her like family vlog grew, her status in the church grew. She became like a church superstar because of it. Because like the priest or whatever.
Yeah, like a local celebrity.
Yeah. Everybody who went to that church looks up to her.
Yeah, because she was making these YouTube videos that were presenting like she had the ideal family.
Yeah.
The perfect Mormon family.
Yeah.
You know, that others would look up to, and they've got the perfect kids, house, you know, the neighborhood's perfect.
Yeah.
And so she was, if anything, trying to build more onto that lifestyle to attract more and more attention. And obviously she was making a lot more money on YouTube, to the expense that, you know, where like the kids now, a lot of their free time was for YouTube.
Yeah.
It all revolved around their YouTube videos.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to mention here, right, that I feel like there is a common thread. I think it is quite common where people don't know the limits when it comes to this kind of thing. In terms of people don't know where the limit is in terms of YouTube or social media business, especially when it involves yourself and your lifestyle. People don't know where to create a healthy boundary.
Yeah.
As to the point where, okay, now this is really affecting my life and others.
Yeah.
You know, on one hand, it's a family business. That is what it is. Yeah. And a family business is going to impact the family. Let's say you had like a family restaurant. There'll be time when the kids spend time there. You know, kids might even lend a hand. You might not be able to go on certain holidays because you're running the restaurant. It affects their life. And so I do have this perspective on this whole YouTube thing with this family vlog. Like, I kind of see it in that way. Like, yeah, it is going to affect their life because it's family business. But this was having huge negative impact early. And it's a different kind of work, isn't it? Like, so things were growing, views were growing and stuff. And things got like very negative very quickly. She was shouting at the kids like early, isn't it, really?
She was filming everything. So obviously, like in the Netflix show, we saw like the outtakes.
Yeah.
And so consequently, we could see, you know, her shouting at the kids, giving them a bit of abuse. And
yeah. I just want to mention quickly, and you can finish that point in a sec, and that is the common thread that I meant, where what I meant to say as well on that point was there's other content creators where, of course, they fake the positivity. That's been a big thing for a very long time. But there's that recent story of that Gabby Petit, that travel vlogger, and of course that ended up in some serious tragedy. That's just another example where under the surface it's a completely different thing. Yeah. You know, healthy boundaries. But yeah, what were we going to finish off with there?
And I think that she just didn't know when to stop. Like if you were sat with your son as she was in that
that's the clip
scene,
I was going to talk about.
and she's asking him, what's his name? Chad,
yeah.
Where's your name from? How did we name you? How did we get your name? Whatever. And he was like, from grandpa. And she was asking him so many times, and you could tell that he was fed up and he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be filmed. He didn't want to be on camera. He just wasn't in the mood that day. Like, give him a break. Like, okay, let's just not do this and just cut it, stop it, do it another day, whatever. Do it in a more natural setting maybe, because it was a very like forced, sat down situation. If your child clearly doesn't want to be filming that day, I don't see why she was forcing him. Yeah. And she was so angry about it.
That's what I was going to say. And then she was saying that, like, you need to be happy in this clip. You need to give energy and be happy. Yeah. And he was just like, he was trying and it just wasn't coming across. And she was like, no, you need to be happy. And he was like, I just can't do it right now. Like, he just never had the energy to give in that moment.
Yeah, they're just kids.
Yeah. And I was
Sometimes
like,
kids you can't force them to be like that,
you
energetic,
really can't.
positive,
Yeah.
you know.
Can't even get them to smile on pictures.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like you can't be forcing them. You can't be forcing them to do stuff
And
like
you can
that.
tell when it's forced.
And do you know what I would like to think about myself and how I would do it? I would rather the kid deliver it how he wants to deliver it. Then if I think that's not good enough, I'll just say to the camera.
I'll just cut it out.
I'll just say to the camera, be like, okay, teenagers maybe. Or just be like, he's not really feeling the energy, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That is healthy.
Or maybe just ask beforehand, before you start rolling.
Yeah.
Do you fancy doing a 2-minute filming today?
Yeah.
With me? And if it's a no, it's a no.
But for me though, it's like, I would rather the kid deliver it how the kid delivers it. Because that's natural, that's healthy. And real parents out there will know that's what kids do.
But I think because like her content mainly is the family, the kids. Do you know what I mean? So I think she felt that pressure that the kids need to be on camera.
Yeah.
A lot.
Do you know? Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's hard. Here's where I'm stuck, right? I want to say fake doesn't sell. Because the real people out there, the real viewers, they can see fake, yeah. And when it's real, they'll agree with it and they'll be like, yeah, it's cool, it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm wrong, aren't I? Fake sells. Fake sells really good. And it's just not going to stop yet. There's many years before it stops.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people are a bit more clued up now after these kind of like family vloggers have been exposed.
I think they're clued up.
A lot of people like don't like, they do question it when you read comments on these type of family vlogs. They do comment, oh, she's on the camera quite a lot, or she doesn't seem very happy, or shouldn't you give her a bit of privacy? This is her, after school chill time or whatever. People do ask these questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean though. Like, you can't spot it all the fakeness sometimes, and there is a lot of fakeness in these videos. It's a lot of pretending, but that's just social media. Social media in general
is fake.
It's fake.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people just post. Most of us just post.
Yeah.
Positive, good things. Show offy things. We're not going to post something sad, a lot of us.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm going to keep this in the podcast. It'll be all right. Shall I open the blinds? I feel like I should open the blinds.
Can do.
What do you
I thought
think?
you wanted to hide the plates.
Oh, it's already hidden.
All right.
Yeah? I'll just open the blinds. Here you go, guys. Look behind the scenes. You can watch the blinds opening. Look at that. I bet you 15 people just clicked off the video there because I opened the blinds. Yeah. I can agree with if I can remember what you just said. But social media is that, and it is unfortunate, but I do think people just want to mindlessly view in a way, and sometimes the false positivity just gets through your autopilot easier than seeing some of the real stuff, I suppose.
So the kids weren't really wanting to film with her, so she saw that as them being naughty, and especially she saw rebellious behaviour with Chad. So that's how she introduced Jodie.
Oh yeah, Jodie was introduced because of his behaviour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Apparently his behaviour, right, yeah. Do you remember as well, they were getting paid £10 per video? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was a bit of a thing. I was like, give them a proper cut at least.
But yeah.
I'm sure that would make them be a lot more involved, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Can you imagine if Ryan of Ryan's World was getting £10 a video?
Well, we don't know what he was paid. Maybe he'd been paid anything.
I'm sure they cut him in on a better deal. Unless there's a Ryan documentary coming out soon.
So yeah, she was introduced to
Jodie.
Help his behaviour, his attitude, make him more religious as well. They were saying, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they did say, like, you know, eventually after, I don't know, can't remember how long it was, months in, he actually did improve. He was a lot more calmer, and he was doing things in the house, helping out, being a bit more supportive, and just being happier and calmer.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
I also remember how she was forcing the husband. There were times when he wasn't performing correctly. Do you remember that? Where she was trying to make him say things and he just wasn't.
On camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'm trying.
Yeah, everybody I think was forced to film.
Yeah.
In that household.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, and then eventually, like, Jodie Hildebrandt, the therapist, counsellor, whatever you want to call her, she then became a bit more of a permanent thing, weren't she? She was like a permanent person.
It was as if the focus moved
in the house. Yeah.
From Frankie to Jodie. It was as if Jodie was like this amazing coach, and people found Ruby Frankie in her classes. So they were all like, all right, so Ruby Frankie is the way she is because of this amazing coach.
Yeah.
So it was as if the source of like this greatness was moved.
And obviously Jodie like saw, like, you know, the attention that she was getting, what's she called, Ruby. She's obviously a very popular person in the neighbourhood, so that also benefits her. Yeah,
also benefits Jodie. And so more people were attending her classes, weren't they?
Yeah.
The Jodie's classes because of
So they kind of benefited
Frankie.
from each other.
Yeah, mutual benefit there, definitely.
Their relationship got closer.
But what was interesting though was that Jodie had a history. She had like an online documented history of like being this fake guru, fake coach.
Yeah.
That was wild, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For that history to be out there, and then she put a lie out saying, no, it's not true. They're just lying about me. You got to believe what I'm saying. I am legit. They're lying about me. So you carry on sticking with me. And people are like, all right, cool. Convinced. Let's go. Wild, isn't it?
Yeah. People just don't do their research.
But then
do they?
But then these lot kind of did do it and then just still didn't believe it.
What can you say?
Yeah. And then things went further, of course. So as you were saying, Jodie became somebody who became like a proper family fixture.
Yeah. So the point where she moved in.
She replaced the husband.
Yeah.
Basically.
Essentially.
Yeah. In perhaps more ways than one. More ways which we wish to discuss.
Because then she ended up kicking the husband out, didn't she?
Yeah.
And eventually the daughter as well, which was very messed up.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the son went as well. The older Chad went. Yeah, Chad was the older boy, and he went. It was just wild. And here's what I find stunning, right? When they got kicked out, the girl that went to uni, she was fully cut off, right? Nothing, no contact, no nothing. Chad was still getting classes from Jodie, virtual classes. And the husband, Kevin, he was still going to sessions as well. I'm like, why are you still going to this weird session?
Yeah.
And in those sessions, they were just slating him. It was all about him. Actually, no. I think it started off with him being the perfect example of a guy. Oh, you're so good. You've, I don't know, built a great family or whatever. Very quickly it became, you're the worst thing on earth. You got to work on yourself. Proper publicly shaming him. Yeah. And people were like watching it in that class to just watch him get shamed every week. Mind-blowing stuff. And he just carried on going. I don't even know at what point he dropped off, but...
It's very strange.
At that point, when the oldest girl or whatever is at uni, Chad is kicked out, he's somewhere, maybe with his dad or something. The husband is kicked out. At this point, Ruby Frankie is just her with her youngest kids. I think it was something like 3 girls and a boy, something like that, I think. There's quite a few of them. Because I remember one clip where they're all coming down the stairs, and there was like 4 of them coming down the stairs.
Yeah. There were 6 in total.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
The the daughter and Chad had gone, so yes, 4 kids.
Yeah, 4 kids left. And yeah, this was proper. This is where things went to like...
Yeah, spiraled more downhill.
They went to a much higher level of like, you know, affecting these kids. Really sad, really tragic. I really hope that, you know, the kids get justice and the kids can really heal from it, because this is something that should never be seen on earth, really, what happened with these kids. And there were things like the adults, so that would be Ruby, Frankie and Jodie, would disappear for like, I don't know, a week at a time or something. And the kids are just at home, like locked in, just peering out of windows here and there. Not answering the door and stuff. Wild, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and being tied. Did you see?
Yeah, they did that. Yeah. Being
tied, and then the wounds.
Yeah.
They did something to the wounds as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did things to the wounds.
Salt? Can't remember.
Something like salts or spices or something.
Yeah.
They did things to the wounds to cause more pain, because I think the pain would like clean them of their sins or something. Sad, tragic.
The thing is, if one is like, you know, mentally unwell, I'm not saying that's fair, but there was 2 grown-ups. There's 2 of them.
I mean,
that place, that house was Jodie's house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In Utah.
Yeah.
So it was like she was present at one point. Surely she didn't come across mentally unwell to me. You know what I mean?
It's mad.
None of them stopped.
Yeah.
None of them stopped these children from being abused.
Yeah.
And the dad as well. Like,
that's what I mean. There was 3 adults involved with this, and that's not to mention the girl at uni, in my opinion, and Chad as well. I mean, these lot are getting to adult age at this point, in my opinion. But I understand that they're still young. But there's definitely 3 adults here. There's Jodie, the dad, and then of course
Dad was cut
the mum
out from all of this. I don't even think he even knew where the kids were living at this point.
What kind of father is that, though?
I mean, I think the neighbours were more clued up, as in like Frankie's neighbours who like clocked, you know, like no one's at home.
I really hate to say it. What kind of father is that, though? I know that he like kicks himself and all this lot, but do you know what I mean?
He just wasn't present and trusted in the ex-wife way too much, even though he'd seen glimpses of her, you know, questionable behaviours.
Yes,
when he was present,
exactly,
and
towards himself and the kids,
did not protect the children at all.
At all, not at all. It's both of your job. It's not just one of your jobs. It's both of your jobs, and even if that means protecting the children from the other parent, even if that's what it means, that's your job.
Yeah,
doesn't matter who it's from, you protect the kids.
I mean, just allowing
minimum
from the beginning. Like, why did he? I mean, I know he wasn't the one that were wearing the trousers in that relationship.
Yeah.
Clearly, she had control over him from day one.
Yeah.
And he loves her more than she loves him. You can tell.
Yeah.
But allowing this next woman, Jodie, to move into your house.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Yeah, I know.
And being okay with that, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And weren't they in the same bedroom as well?
Jodie and Ruby Frankie were in the same bedroom.
Shared the same bedroom?
Yeah, they did. I know.
What?
Yeah, I know, I don't get it. It's so strange. It is really strange.
He didn't question it from day one, and that was unbelievable.
Yeah, that is really weird, how like the husband was just kind of okay with them two spending that much time together and in essence kicking him out of the relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, what can we say? So then, I mean, after that, things just obviously catapulted and just went wild. Of course, Jodie and Ruby were leaving the kids by themselves, going to like other parts of the country and stuff, and being gone for ages. The neighbours would spot this, call the police, and like raise alarm bells and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there was times when they were leaving the kids in the house at Ruby's house.
Yeah,
because those are the neighbours who saw it happening. And then I think from there they moved to Geordie's house, because Geordie's house had much more privacy. You got to think about her house is actually mental. Like, she was loaded.
Yeah.
She
I
was
don't know if she rented it or she bought it.
She was rich.
Yeah. But when you look at those houses, though, like that neighbourhood, if you can call it a neighbourhood, it's got like 5 houses there in that vicinity.
Yeah.
They're like $5 million houses. It's like a middle of nowhere. It's like, if anything happened to those kids, like no one would know.
Yeah. That's what you were saying, isn't it? It's one of them places where people just wouldn't find you for days or longer.
Yeah. It's not one of those neighbourhoods where, like, you see your neighbour coming in and out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's right. Or you even have people going past, like the paper boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Window cleaners.
Yeah. Which kind of explains why, the abuse went on for so long.
Yeah.
And, God, if you just so, like, heart-wrenching, when you see those pictures of those children, how
what happened?
Small and, like, frail they look.
Yeah, they were tiny, and there were really, like, strange things, like they would make them jump on the trampoline like all day in the sun, or just like stand in the sun. It's just, honestly, it's wrong, it's wrong. All this kind of stuff is just crazy. All of this will come back to the people who are doing it, you know what I mean? And I honestly, what sticks in my mind is the picture of that little girl. Well, the video, innit, of that little girl just sitting in that room when the police come to, like, rescue her.
Yeah.
And she just sat there, and it looks like she's just been sitting in a dark room for, like, 4 days or something.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Like she'd been told, you have to stay here like this.
Yeah, and it's not the first time. Like, she's been doing this for ages already.
Yeah.
The police opened the door. The girl hardly moved.
Yeah.
Saddest thing I've seen in a very long time. I was like, what has happened here? This is so wild.
And I was thinking as well, like, at what point, like, did the mother, like Ruby, went from, like, being normal to, like, psychotic with the abuse? But thinking back, was she ever, like, normal?
I get you.
Like, I don't. Do you know what I mean?
I get you.
Like, it wasn't. Well, it's normal, but, like, not ideal. Her behaviour that she, well, at least what we saw from the Netflix show.
It was a gradual development.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Do you know when it's gradual? It's harder to see.
Like, when did it flip? Like, when did it turn from, like, just a little bit mad to, like, actually crazy?
I get you. I don't think there was. For me, there wasn't a flip. For me, it was just a gradual change. And that's the thing. With a gradual change, it's harder to see the change. With a flip, like, it's just easier. You can see, okay, 1 minute you were like this, and now you're like this. With a gradual change over a long period of time, you can't see it. And with her, it will have been tiny things.
Yeah.
And it will start with just say
and
hello.
And she had so much control in the house, didn't she?
Yeah.
Like, obviously she could control the husband and the kids until she couldn't control the kids anymore. Then she kicked the husband out and the oldest ones, who she couldn't control.
Yeah.
But then she had Jodie. Here comes Jodie, who entered her life, who encouraged it.
Yeah.
So that, fueled into her desires even more, and it just spiraled. And, like, what would have happened if that little boy didn't go over to the neighbour?
That's it.
And saved his little brother and sister in the house.
Unintentionally, apparently, save his family.
Because the mother wasn't even in the house, was she? At the time when the police went over, it was Jodie who was
just Jodie, yeah. What blows my mind is how he got out. Like, I'm hoping he was already outside and he was just able to just get out. But if he had to escape from the inside out, that was one of them houses with, like, massive, heavy doors.
Yeah. Wild, just mental.
Kids got, like, no strength at that point. Malnourished and that. It's honestly mind-blowing. Honestly, very, very sad to see.
And very sad to see, like, very sad to hear when the dad said that, how he still loved her.
Oh, yeah. And how he would do it again. And do you know what he was doing? Oh, my God. So the mother, Frankie, she'd rang him because he was the last line of support.
Yeah.
And said, go and get my kids back.
Yeah, she BS'd him, didn't she? Saying, oh, so this happened and that happened, but she wasn't really telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Go and get him back.
Yeah, still tried to manipulate him.
Yeah.
And he probably thought he's got a chance here because he'd not been in touch with them for so long, for over a year, I think.
Yeah.
So obviously he was already over the moon when she'd called him.
Yeah.
And he was just thinking that he's going to go to the police station and just get the kids out.
And basically get the kids back, take them back to her.
Yeah.
And redeem himself.
Yeah.
He was like, this is my chance at redemption. This is my chance to be a good guy or whatever now. I was like, whoa. But then, this was interesting, right? The police kind of like questioned him. And they said, like, have you seen any issues and things, yeah?
Yeah.
And he protected her.
Yep.
So yeah, that was the case. I think with that, I think we've covered everything really, overall. What do you think?
Yeah.
Anything more you want to add?
Not really.
No, not really. Yeah, same for me. I think we basically covered it. I mean, we haven't gone too far in depth in a way. We've covered it on a surface level.
Yeah. This obviously happened a little while ago, but because we just recently watched the Netflix show.
Yeah.
Haven't we? And it's a sad story, but I feel like it's one of those, like, quite relevant as well because of, YouTube and social media, and it's one of those ongoing current things with family vlogging, isn't it? It's one of those things that we have to look out for.
Yeah, there's always like a family vlog that crops up somewhere and something happens. One thing that I've got to really give her props for, which is actually, well, kind of give her props, I suppose, which is just wild, is how on Mother's Day, she was the mother. Like, YouTube posted her as if she was like America's mum, YouTube's mum. That is like, that's pretty massive. Yeah. I'm not sure how many subscribers she had, but she was raking it in.
Yeah, she was big time.
Smashed it.
How she probably lost control,
Yeah, of course that is how she lost control. I think sometimes, I don't know, is it that you're necessarily the best? Or is it that the algorithm just pushes out certain people, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't know. It's kind of, it's mysterious and important. You know what I mean? Severance.
She wouldn't be my cup of tea.
No, we wouldn't.
Whether I was based in US or not, whether I was in Utah or not, she wouldn't be my cup of tea. It's not the whole family vlogging stuff. It's not. I've never been into the family vlogging.
No, same.
Content at all.
Same.
But yeah, she obviously was attractive to a lot of mums. Yeah. But yeah, sad story. I think we just have to be mindful, don't we, when it comes to like family vlogging and who we watch.
Yeah, who we watch, who we support. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to be mindful of it. It is kind of strange to think that watching a video is actually supporting somebody.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Mm-hmm. Like, it's an interesting time to live in that sense. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, you're instantly paying that price. There is no, like, free video out there. By you watching it, you are supporting, like...
I mean, it's a red flag alone when you see, on these, vlogs, when you see children on it, and they don't seem like they want to be there, or they don't seem like they have a lot to say. When they don't have a lot to say, it kind of means like they're not very passionate about whatever you're trying to show on this video. Like, it reminds me a bit of our last Ryan video.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is right. Yeah, that's what I agree with. How I see it is, if the kid is not driving the video, and you can see that this is genuinely the kid's interest and it's not acting, that's the hard part. I already confirmed that. But if the kid is driving the video, then it's basically more believable. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I went up to my kid and was like, okay, what do you want to do? What should we look at together? Because, in other words, I'm thinking about, there's a father and son who play games on YouTube,
Yeah.
And it's always like farming simulator or something.
Yeah.
And I can see that that's what the kid wants to do.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
mutually...
when you can see them like they've proper dived into their world and they're like really into
in the kids'
it.
world,
Yeah, they're like submerging it. They're just going and they don't even know they've forgotten you're filming.
Yeah, that's right.
Different. Yeah.
And that, I feel like that could be anything. It could be like engineering stuff, science stuff.
Yeah.
It could be anything really, couldn't it? But I feel like as long as it's the kid's plan and idea, what the kid really wants to do, then it's brilliant and it's fine.
Yeah.
But that can be hard to like confirm that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you just have to consent it, like with the child, you know, even though it's your child, like they've got to be happy. They've got to want to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Got to confirm at all times if you fancy it, if it's what you want to do, if it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you get bored, we'll just turn it off. I don't care. Mid-sentence, I don't care. Turn it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Documentary was interesting and wild. We have actually got another one which we are going to put out there, which we've seen recently. I think you've forgotten it.
What?
Another like social media one where a certain somebody was faking a situation and took advantage of a lot of people. You've forgotten, haven't you?
Yeah.
It was that lady who said that she had the C. She faked having that illness.
Oh, right, yeah.
So look out for that one, guys. That's going to be coming up because that was pretty wild and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That went quite deep. But yeah, this one covered. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll close this one off. Let's close it off, guys. Thanks for watching. We will catch you in the next one. And this was us. Generally a surface level discussion of the whole Frankie situation. The viral YouTube success. Who turned
And
out
downfall.
And downfall, yeah, the nightmare behind that success. Yeah.